Yo, how's it going everyone? It's me, Arctic Phoenix. Today's video, we are going to actually be going over the character Ayaka. Now this is one that is rumored to be coming out in update 1.3, along with possibly Zhao, which is another one of the characters from the beta that was not released in the base game when it came out. Basically, Ayaka is going to be a 5-star sword user, and she's going to be cryo, which is going to be pretty nice. However, we are getting a few cryos before this. Like, I know Diona already came out, so that's another one. People were complaining that there wasn't enough cryos that were accessible to get. So basically, we've got Diona, Ganyu, and Ayaka are the three newest cryo characters coming out. Ayaka is probably one of the ones that most people already wanted to go after and get. We're going to be looking over all of the cool things that she can do and see where she would actually fit inside of good team comps. So as you can see here, her base attack is pretty high because she is a DPS 5-star. Her abilities are definitely centered around DPS. She's also got a cool little dash ability similar to Mona's. However, this one I believe actually does damage depending on the circumstances you're under. So we're going to be looking at that a little bit later along with some of her passives. But first, her basic attacks, basically what this shows is that her first 3 hits do normal slash damage. I don't know if this was actually in the beta or not, but this 4th one seems to be from this, actually doing like 3 little quick slashes or something. So that'll do 3 sets of the damage right here. We go with level 6 for when we're talking about them, because that's usually the level you're going to be at when you get to a character ascension at level 80. So basically this is going to be doing like 27, 27, 27. And then the 5 hit, I think that's just a normal, like, probably stab attack, something similar to that. I've not personally seen her attack combos, so I would not know. However, that does seem kind of interesting for DPS, because all these combined together equal similar to about 90, which is higher than usually the 4th hit, because usually the 5th hit is going to be larger. So maybe this will actually make her auto attacks better than her charged attacks. Her charged attack is doing 80% of attack damage, which, depending on how fast you can actually trigger these, it can go from either a good charged attack to a bad charged attack. I know the difference between characters like Keqing and Chi-Chi is that with Chi-Chi, she is a lot slower when it comes to activating her charged attacks, and Keqing's, I believe, scales pretty well off of her charged attacks versus Chi-Chi. So basically, Chi-Chi's better with not using your charge attacks, just using your abilities and auto attacking normally, and Keqing is better using your charged attacks for DPS. Okay, so her first E spell, basically at level 6, this honestly isn't very interesting of an ability. Basically, it just does a circle of cryo damage around you. It might actually look pretty cool. I've not seen the beta very much, although I do know it is like a circle around here because I've seen a little bit of clips. I just didn't really look that much. But at level 6, this is going to be doing 337% of your attack damage, which is a pretty good amount of damage, because as you know with Ganyu, my earlier video on Ganyu, her E spell basically is for taunting and also double procking cryo. So what you can do is you can total that up at the level 6, and that's going to be about the same as this E spell at 1 press. For her elemental burst, she actually is going to be causing like blade storms to actually pop up on the field. Now this only does a 1, however I'm pretty sure in the beta it was actually 3 that you could use just on base. However, they've actually changed that into a Constellation, so I believe that is C6 now, and they nerfed the actual storms extra that you get to do like 20% damage. So not as good as she was initially, but still a pretty good elemental burst right here. So this is going to do cryo damage over time to enemies in this path, which is pretty good. This will probably act similar to like the Traveler's Tornado. So I mean, if you wanted to combo Ayaka with the Traveler, the Animo Traveler, that would actually be pretty good. You could send this Blade Storm out and then the Swirl Tornado right behind it. proccing Swirl on all the enemies that you just hit with the Cryo Tornado. And okay, so this does have slash damage and also blade storm damage. So I believe this doesn't necessarily show the damage over time like Diluc's does. So basically the slash damage at level 6, it does 100% of your attack, which is pretty good because that is going to be doing, like if you run her as a DPS at level 80, you're probably going to have her around 2,000 to 2,500 attack. So that'll be doing about that much slash damage, which is pretty low compared to other characters like Diluc. I believe his scales up to like 300 something % slash damage, and then it has damage over time plus burn damage plus explosion damage at the end. So that's a little bit low in my opinion, but I think where this super really shines is the blade storm damage. So this is gonna be 203% damage. I don't know if this is over time or for each time like whatever blades in the blade storm actually hit. If it's the blades in the blade storm, this could be a little bit less good than if it's damage over time, because the duration of this is 5 seconds. So 5 times 200 is going to be approximately 1,000 damage, 1,000% damage. But the cooldown on this is 15 seconds, which is pretty standard for most of these elemental bursts like this. I know Diluc's I think is 15 seconds. Also, the energy cost is at 60, which 60 is a pretty good midline for actual energy costs. However, Diluc's is at 40 for his, which seems good because the good thing about Diluc having a low energy cost is that you don't have. The good thing about him having a low cost elemental burst is that you're actually getting his elemental burst back faster, and you don't have to run energy recharge at all. Like literally, without any energy recharge, you're getting it back pretty much every 15 seconds if you're actually hitting a good amount of enemies. But this is at 60, so I would recommend running energy recharge, because that is where a lot of her DPS is going to be coming from, and a lot of her cryo damage. Also, another good thing, I would recommend actually upgrading the E-Spell first, probably, because this is going to be doing a lot of good damage right around there. You could also build her for crit rate, cryo damage, you can build her for pretty much anything like that you want. As for her Ascension Materials right here, like it's not showing any of the actual upgrade materials. Well, this is talents, but actually if we go up here to Ascension Materials, it's showing not violet grass, but it's showing small lamp grass. But I don't think it's gonna be small lamp grass because Inazuma is supposed to be coming out. If it's not out by 1.3, like it's probably gonna be like 2.0 or something like that. But basically, violet grass is coming out. So I don't think it'll be a violet grass or small lamp grass. So I don't think it's going to be small lamp grass that she's actually using. It's probably going to be something different. But I would consider all this other information pretty much correct. Okay, so we're going to go over her passives real quick. So basically, she has the cooking passive, which is okay, but like so many other characters have it, you don't really need another one with it. But this could be good for something like if you just want to max out your cooking proficiencies. That's pretty much it, but I think other characters have this. Her first main passive is normal attack hits on enemies affected by cryo have a 6 or 18% chance, respectively, of shortening cooldown of the E-Spell by 0.5 seconds. This could be pretty good because if you're proccing enemies with cryo, auto-attacking with them, you're going to be doing a whole lot more damage. If you actually pair Ayaka with Chongyun, you can actually cause your basic attacks to be doing cryo, so you're just always going to have cryo as your damage, and if you use cryo damage artifacts, you can have her as your main cryo DPS, which would be pretty good. And so her second passive is basically while Kanemitsu Art Senho form, so that is the actual sprint right here. So when you're in her sprint, which is like similar to Mona's basically, it'll actually mark enemies below 30 HP. So when you leave the form near one of those opponents, you're actually going to be doing 300% cryo damage to them based on your attack if you hit them with a normal attack. So, but that counts as a charge attack, so I think it does use stamina actually. So you gotta be kind of careful when and how much you use that. But it does seem kind of powerful, especially if you're going to be using that on bosses. I don't think this has like a cooldown time, so you could actually just like proc this right next to an enemy. Like if you were fighting bosses with below 30 HP, this could be a fast way to actually defeat them. Okay, for Constellations, this first one increases your skill damage against enemies affected by cryo by 20%. So basically, if you already have an e-spell procced on them, your second one's going to be doing more. So this second one is also decreasing the cooldown of the elemental burst by 2 seconds. That'll be pretty good because if you are running energy recharge and using other cryo characters, you'll be getting your ult back very fast. Also increases the energy recharge by 15%. That's good because you don't have to stack anything into like damage or anything. I would also recommend running a Favonius sword on her, because if you do run crit rate and cryo damage on here, that could be pretty good because you're going to be doing a lot of cryo damage anyway, and also critting a lot. Also, if you do have two cryos on your team, you're going to be getting also increased crit rate. So Favonius sword will proc even more often. So this fourth constellation, when your energy is above 50%, the normal attack damage is increased by 20%. So that's actually really good because if you hold on to your elemental burst, you're going to be getting more damage. However, I would recommend using your elemental burst when it gets full. When energy is below 50, normal attack crit rate is increased by 10%. So kind of you're getting a whole lot more damage from her auto attacks here, which will make her just an insane DPS. And this last one, like I said earlier, this one creates 2 additional Blade Storms that do 20% of original Storm's damage. So that'll be pretty cool to see when that comes out. I don't know if it'll all go in one direction, if it'll split kind of out to the sides. Something like that could be interesting. But other than that, that's pretty much it for Ayaka. This video has gone on for quite a bit of time. So, I mean, if you guys stuck around this whole time, a like down below is very much appreciated. I'm trying to get to 300 subscribers with these videos. So, anyway, it's been your boy Arctic Phoenix. I'll see you all next time. Farewell.
Thank you.